Hola mis amores. Christmas is nearly here and I'm skin. So I thought I'd show you how I turned something that cost me like $3 into something ka-ching ka-ching. I have this delicious mold from Resin, which I absolutely love. It comes in 3 different sizes, an A5, A6 and A7. I think the one I have is an A6. The mold came with 6 higher bits, so you can turn this into a notebook and put rings around it. But I don't want that, so I cut them off. Otherwise, we'll have 6 holes. It's so shiny. The best way to clean this mold is by using some painter's tape. Never use alcohol. The other products I want to use are my juicy pigments from Resin 2. I have the Intense Aurora Chameleon powders, the Non-Sync Aurora pigments, these 4 which are new and I haven't used before, and they're the Ultra Bright Golden powders, and of course the Chameleon Opal Flakes. I will leave in the description box a list of everything I'm using today, plus discount codes too. So let's get our resin mixed first. And of course, I'm going to use my Stoyo 1:1. My resin is ready. I only prepared 100 ml as it's a small mold and not very deep. I want to separate a bit into a disposable cup to do the dual effect, which is what I call it. It probably has a different name. I need to keep it away from me, so not to spill it. Pour resin into the mold, making sure to leave some space for other layers. Therefore, if you can, leave about 1/3. We only want a thin layer. By the way, I don't pour that fast. I just speeded it up. Make sure to check for bubbles and pop any you see. Now we need to choose one of the products. I think I'll go with the Non-Sync Auroras, if I can get the box open. I'm going to go with the purple blue one. I need to get more of this because I'm running out and I'm cuckoo for these powders. We only need a small amount and a small stirring stick to mix it all in. I just love the effect they have. Now for the waiting game. We need the resin to warm up a bit to get a bit gloopy. About 10 to 20 minutes at most. I've put the mold on my heating mat as I want this to cure faster, because I need to make 2. Get your little disposable pot with the coloured resin ready. It's nice and gloopy and ready to pour over the mold. Pop any bubbles and leave it to cure. This is ready and we can now go on to the next step, which is adding the chameleon flakes. I'm going with this one. With some tweezers, grab some flakes and a soft brush and begin to blend the flakes onto the cured resin. If you see it doesn't stick, spray some isopropyl alcohol. Cover the whole area. This is ready and now I need to prepare some polyurethane. You can use normal resin if you want, but I'm pressed for time, so black polyurethane it is. I like to prepare A and B into 2 different pots. Mix the 2 parts for about 20 seconds and pour it over the mold. I've overpoured as per usual, but we can fix it later. Then leave it to cure. This is ready and I left it for about an hour. I need to cut the overpour first. Just snip around the edges with a pair of scissors. Just look how beautiful, so simple yet so effective. For the second one I'm going to use my new products. Whilst I decide which of the 4 to use, we might as well prepare more resin. I've decided to go for number 3 in the end. We need to separate some resin into a disposable pot to do the same as before. This has cured and ready for some flakes. I can't decide. I ended up going for a pinkish yellow one. Applying the same method as before, covering the whole back with the flakes. I'm going back in with the black polyurethane to speed things up. This is ready. I need to cut the overpour. Wow, love how the colours refract. Can you imagine a wall like this? I'd love one. It's stunning. Can't decide which I prefer, which is typical of me. When it comes down to colour, I want it all. Now I need a backing. I have this mould which is more or less perfect. The ideal would be to make 2 of the front pieces, but I'm running out of time. And on the bright side, it's always good to learn something new which we can use for a different project. We're going to need some more UV resin. Pour some into 2 disposable pots. You don't need much, as we're going to do a thin layer. In one pot, add the glitter, and in the other pot, add some flakes. I'm using the same colours I used for the front. Mix them up and pour both contents onto your mould. With a spatula, spread the UV resin till you have a smooth layer. I'm leaving about 3 centimeters to one of the edges, as I don't need it to be that wide. Tap your mould to help the resin balance out, and cure it on both sides for about 5 minutes. This is done, and we can now peel it off the mould. We will need to cut around it to have the same size. I first scored it with a scalpel, and then I used scissors to cut it to the size. I did the exact same with the blues for the other one. I got these 3 A6 notepads for less than $10 on Amazon. They're actually quite nice as is, but we are going to turn them into a big profit if you're looking to sell them, or even give them as a gift. There is a slight difference in size, which is fine. We can fix it easily. I'm going to start with the blue, so I'll need the same flakes and pigments I used earlier. But first we will do a trial test with some UV resin to see if it sticks. I've cured it under a lamp and it's perfect, so that's a plus. So now, in a pot, we need to prepare the same colours with some UV resin. We need to check how much of an outline we need to paint. No need to waste. Brush the mixture all around the edges, not forgetting the spine of the book too, and cure it under a UV lamp. This is ready for the next part. We need some glue. I really like this E6000 Plus glue, but I always have a problem with it to squeeze it out. Does anyone else have this kind of problem? Ugh, it drives me crazy. Use a spatula to spread the glue all over the cover and place the resin piece on top of the front of the notebook. Do the same to the back and to the other notepad. Leave them to dry for a couple of hours. These are dry and we just need to add the final touch. A jar of pickles. Now just a jar of little crushed gems. I still have some mixture left over, but I'll most probably need to make more. Add some crystals and mix them in, making sure they are covered in resin. Then begin by placing them all around the rim where we had coloured the outline. Use a UV torch to cure it for about 10 seconds so that they don't move. Continue to add more crystals to the painted areas. When you come to the spine of the notebook, you need to leave a little space in between so that the book can open without any issues. Once you've completed all the areas, put it under a UV lamp to cure for 5 minutes on each side. Big hugs and love to all my subscribers. Wishing you all a fantastic Merry Christmas. Love you lots. These are done and I love them both. Keep watching for the end results. Toodles!